Joining us from the Road Commission for Oakland County is Craig Bryson. Craig, good morning. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you for the opportunity. Great to be here.
Well, good to be with you, and an awful lot going on. So there's a lot of benchmarks on May 1st, all kinds of things on our calendar, and it seems that May 1st is a big day for you guys in the road improvement project business because we have a bunch of road projects that are all kicking off today in Oakland County.
Absolutely. These are four of our projects that are part of our Preservation Overlay Program, which is an $11.4 million program where we essentially put 2 inches of new asphalt on a road that's in moderately good condition. This extends the life of the road, provides a nice, smooth road service. And as you just showed there, we're starting to do preparatory work on Napier Road, 9 Mile Road, 12 Mile Road, 13 Mile Road, as well as Orion Road over in Rochester Hills, Orion, and Oakland Townships. So yeah, a lot of work going on. One of the nice things about these projects is they're pretty fast and relatively painless. The roads aren't closed. There will be lane closures with traffic directed by flaggers periodically during the work. They typically take a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to wrap up with several days of work each of those weeks and open fully open the rest of the time. So they're relatively quick and painless and result in a nice, smooth, new road surface.
No, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen a bunch of these projects. I'm just thinking of some recent ones. Maple Road, I think it was a recent one. Maple Road in Troy, another one. You see the barrels go up, and then you see them taking the surface of the road off, right? Because they take off the old surface, and
well,
then
in some of these cases we don't even do that.
You don't even do that. Okay.
Well, if the road's in moderately decent shape, this is just 2 inches of asphalt on top of the existing.
You just put it
roads.
right on top. But in some cases, there's been a little bit of a tear off, and then you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be down for 6 months. And then you come back in about a week and a half, and they got another lane open, and then it all comes back really quick. It's a great deal. We as drivers really love it because it is inconvenient, even though we know the roads need to get fixed. It is inconvenient as we come to spring to see so many orange barrels. I'm sure you realize that.
Absolutely. These projects, though, are a great investment. They preserve the length of the road for a relatively reasonable cost. They allow us to extend the life of the road with relatively minor inconvenience to the motorists, and then we get another number of years out of the road before we have to do much more major work to them.
So the other thing, and my notes are scattered all over the place because I'm not as organized as Tyler is, but I did see an article, I think, in the Oakland Press today talking about what you are doing, the Road Commission for Oakland County is doing to make sure that as you're planning future road projects, that you're getting all the input from the communities and from citizens. Why don't you talk about a little bit more about that effort?
Yeah, this is our strategic planning process. We do this every 2 years. And it's a very, very extensive process. We meet with the leadership of virtually every community in the county. That's about 60 individual meetings. Our top leadership, our managing director, deputy managing director, a number of our department directors, meet with the community leaders, whether it's the city manager, city mayor, township supervisor, village manager, village president. We invite the county commissioners serving the area to join us, and we sit down. We have a very lengthy, open, honest discussion with them. We tell them what our plans are in their community, what's new, what's coming up, anything that's changed for us. We ask them about new developments in the community that could affect traffic or roads. We ask them how our service is in their community, if there are areas where they would like to see, a little additional focus, if there are things they like, things they don't like. Just make sure we've got a good line of communication with them, make sure their input is part of our planning process. And then we use all that feedback. All that feedback goes into a big report that helps prioritize our spending for years to come after that, and we rely heavily on the information they provide us. It's a great process. I don't think there's any other county road agency in the state that does as extensive of a planning process with all their partner communities in the county, and we really enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but we really appreciate the information we get out, and it helps to continue to maintain the great partnerships that we have with all the communities in the county.
All right, Craig, you and I have a great partnership, and maybe I'm about to destroy it by asking you questions I didn't let you know about before the interview, but I'm not too worried because you are always the most prepared guest we ever have on the show, and you know your subject matter so well. So a couple of other things here that I was thinking about. For our viewers in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, and Sylvan Lake, we know that there's been talk about a major project there at Orchard Lake Road as it curves through Keego Harbor, continues on through Sylvan Lake, and I know you had some public meetings on that not too long ago in the community. There was some discussion as to whether or not we were going to be able to get that done this year. Do you think that that's going to be happening? Obviously, we're not starting that on May 1st, but do you think that that project might be continue to happen this spring and or summer?
It is planned to go this year, and that is, you're right, that's a big project. It's a $3.1 million resurfacing project, but it's also a reconfiguration of the road. As I'm sure you know, right now it's 4 lanes, 2 in either direction without a center left turn lane. That is not a design that we like. That's a dangerous design, and we've seen a history of rear-end collisions there. People stop in one of the through lanes to turn left, and they get rear-ended. So what we're doing there is what we call an unbalanced 3-lane road where we have, an unbalanced 4-lane road where we have 2 lanes in one direction, 1 lane in the other direction, and a continuous center left turn lane. We think that'll be a much safer option for that community. Those series of communities that it goes through. We've worked a lot with all the communities along the road. We've gotten support from all those communities. We've had a number of public meetings, gained public input. So that is moving ahead.
No, I like what you called it. I had some notes here, and I thought I was using all the cool road terms here when I did my last presentation on this during our State of the Communities. I thought that was called a road diet, where you get rid of one of the lanes. Is that another term you guys are using?
It is. This is both a road diet and an unbalanced, because we're reducing the number of through lanes, but we're also shifting it so it's unbalanced in the sense that there's 2 lanes in one direction, 1 lane in the other. So it's both of those cool terms.
Well, and the bottom line is it's going to help traffic continue to make it through that area. You already did some improvements last year. You've been working real hard down around Orchard Lake and Telegraph and that area in Sylvan Lake, and I know there's a lot of other infrastructure that's going on in there. So that's all really good news, and we're really excited about all that. How did winter go? It seemed to us that this wasn't one of the worst winters we've had in southeastern Michigan. How did it fare for your crews?
No, that's a fair assessment. It certainly wasn't one of the worst. It was slightly lighter than most winters. As usual, it's not quite as light as people might think. We didn't have as many big, heavy, storms, but we had a lot of small incidents with freezing rain and a dusting of snow. And of course, we have to be out at the same levels for those to make sure the roads are safe. So we used slightly less than our 5-year average of salt this year, but only slightly less. And same on our overtime. So there will be a little bit of savings, I expect. We haven't crunched all the final numbers yet, but I don't think it's going to be a huge windfall, as we've seen it occasionally on very mild winters.
Well, I hope it helps out, and maybe you can use some of those bucks or something else. I'm sure with all the needs, though, in our county, those dollars will not go wasted. Hey, before we go, one of the cool things that I love traveling with in my car is one of these apps, and I happen to use the Waze app, but there are a number of other apps, and they do such a good job, Craig, of letting me know when road construction is going to be coming up. What do you guys think about those things? I got to imagine that they're helpful because you can get on the app and then you can kind of plan, even if you've not been going. Now, people should go to your website, get all the information, plan ahead, pre-plan their route like they're going like they're a pilot building a flight plan. But let's be honest, and not everybody really does that. You jump in the car, but if you get on the app, you see this information. It's helpful. Do you guys see that as helping motorists? And are you excited about that development?
Absolutely. We love Waze. We work closely with Waze. We share all of our information with them. We talk to them periodically when something comes up. They're very good to work with. They appreciate getting information from us, and they promptly post it on the app. So we love Waze. The only challenge is there are more and more of those apps coming along, and it's tough to to stay on top of them and make sure all of them get our information. And that I anticipate that becoming a bigger challenge in the future. But so far, Waze and Google, for example, I've been great to work with, and we think that's any way we can get that information out there that will put it in the hands of the people that need it is a good thing.
Well, it makes it very convenient because you can't always know as you're trying to get, like I'm trying to get from where I live to Ann Arbor, and then the on-ramp is closed down to 696 as it was for a little bit, and all that construction going on over there. And it's just hard. We're busy people. We can't keep up with all that. So those apps are really helpful. I had no idea that they actually talk to you and you talk to them and exchange information. I thought it was just drivers going down the road. So that, I feel great about that, and hopefully those guys in that app industry can do a good job about, making it easier for you and not having to, have you feed information to 17 different databases. I can see how that would be a big pain in the you know what.
Absolutely. And no, they are really good to work with, and they have been great. And it is confusing. I mean, not only is in Oakland County alone, not only is there the Road Commission with all of our projects, there's MDOT with all of their projects,
sure,
and there's 40 cities and villages, all of which do projects on their own roads. So, that's what, 42 entities that we all have to kind of keep track of that may be interfering our commutes at one point or another.
Craig Bryson, the hardest working guy in communications in Michigan. I appreciate you taking time for us. It's always important to let people know what's going on with the roads. You do a great job. Good to be with you this morning. Thank you for joining us right here on The Splash and the MegaCast.
Thank you. Great to have the opportunity. I appreciate it.